been doing laundry, and last minute, of course, because tomorrow, which is now today, we're going to New York City to do a record, and I feel prepared. I feel half prepared because a lot of the stuff is going to be banged out in the 2 days that we have before we start recording, and I've never heard the drummer before, and no one's really quite sure what the songs are going to be yet. We all have a good idea, and I'm signing my record deal on Monday. We're going to start recording on Wednesday, so that's all kind of like a cluster of stuff that happens all at once. But that seems to be the way it works. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I got a flight out at noon, and we're going to go to New York City and make a record. The only title that I have in my head right now is "This Will All Make Perfect Sense Someday." I don't know what made me bring the video camera. I think it must have been because I knew it was such a big deal for me to make a record. I mean, that was my dream had come true when I was making a record. I still don't think about success in terms of money. I think about it in terms of the opportunity to make another record. And I'm glad I have that footage because that was a time in my life that, sadly, I'm never going to have again, where you have a blank canvas and you just start throwing paint down on it. You know, nothing was lost on me at that period of time. Nothing was taken for granted. Every last little corner of every experience was appreciated. And it's something I'll never have back again, but I have video of almost proof, you know. So anyway, this is the most hoity-toity hotel room I've ever been in. I'm a much more of a Ramada guy. Give me Spectrovision. Anyway, we're making a record. We're making a record. I grew up in Fairfield, Connecticut, which geographically isn't all that far away from New York, but I hardly ever went to the city. So my first real experience in New York City, other than school trips, was coming up to do music stuff. So I kind of began to see New York as the heart of the big time, you know, people getting stuff done, not just talking about it.
Yes, you got it. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Good afternoon. Hi. I am so excited about this record. There are very few records in my life that I've actually had the chance to work on that I'm about ready to piss myself all over. Just because I'm so excited, I'm gonna piss myself. I will literally, you know.
So it's gonna be a good time, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. Yeah. Alasia and I were figuring out tempos for tunes as best we could so that we could have some kind of semblance of order in the studio. You know, I showed up at his apartment and I had a guitar and he had a little metronome and we went through every song. We had a list too. There was a list, and on it was kind of like the main songs, and underneath it were some of the other tunes that I quite hadn't finished yet and actually never got finished. But every record has those songs. 3 by 5, I'm on the fence about.
Okay.
I think if we leave it off, it'll be a better song a year from now.
Now, what about Love Soon? Do you just decide?
Love Soon, I'm all about not having on the record. Well, see, why Georgia doesn't sell anybody that big because it's about the harmonies that don't, like that chorus is going to be huge in those harmonies, right? That chorus is going to be with a tambourine.
It would be like D'Angelo.
By the way, you know, people don't really like the few people that I've talked to about City Love. How do you feel about it? Seem to think the name Lydia is okay. People think that it's kind of copping out. The thing that I was struggling with was it was so specific to a woman named Lydia, who was John's girlfriend at the time, and that song is really all about what it's like to be in New York City and be subject to this kind of beautiful corruption of a woman. Not that that existed. And the struggle was, well, do I want to mention specifically the woman? In this argument, when you say, "City love," you know, high as the sky above, and I can't remember life before her name. Her is a lot more artistic. First of all, like, you know it's a woman, or you kind of just get the whole sort of like
whole city
thing.
Yeah, sure.
And I remember flip-flopping, but I think the phonetics won out over anything else. That's just the way it sounded, you know.
I got a city love, found it in Lydia, and I can't remember last before her name, her name, her name, her name.
I think that very night that we had gotten together, John and I had gotten together, we had a little pizza party of myself, John Alasia, my lawyer, and my manager, and Greg Latterman, who runs Aware Records. And I had kind of turned the camera on to Greg without him knowing, as he was kind of talking about the mission statement, what it was I was going to do.
Dude, if you own your van and you can tour cheap, it's like we'll be able to be on the road forever, and it'll happen. If it's like all of a sudden it's like $3 grand a week, or $4 grand, or $5 grand, or $6 grand, or $7 grand, then it's like we have to question shit. But between Michael, whoever your agent is, and myself, even if you couldn't draw, we can keep you on the road 12 months a year. It's like if you can keep doing that and keep building the net, it's like it'll go.
And I gotta say, it was dead on, you know? It was dead on. This really, for me, is about, from the beginning, knowing where you're trying to hit, spending all your time getting there, and then giving yourself a nice little pat on the back when you make it.